Hey everybody, I hope you all had a great week so far. This week I want to talk about a few pieces of new legislation that we've been introducing, but before I jump into that, give you a quick update on what's going on with our waterways. This week we received some outstanding news that President Trump officially made his formal budget request to Congress, which included a record-setting $250 million for Everglades Restoration. We kind of telegraphed that a little bit last week, saying that we were expecting that, but he actually made that official request. We obviously made that request as Florida members of the delegation to the president to go out there and do that. Now, this is $50 million increase over the historic funding that we fought so hard to secure last year, and couldn't be more excited about what this means for our waterways. It means obviously we're closer than ever to building that EAA Southern Storage Reservoir. This funding, it's exactly what we need to get critical projects like that one and others over the finish line and ahead of schedule, and in that, we're proud of that going on. On another clean water related issue, there's a piece of legislation that I helped to introduce this week to reduce the amount of plastics that are polluting our waterways. Now, ocean plastic pollution, it's a growing threat to clean water, and it's a problem. It's only going to get worse until we really do something serious to go out there and stop and prevent it. Specifically, this legislation, it requires the EPA to simply tell us the most effective and cost-effective existing tools and technology that are being used to mitigate the microplastics in our waterways, so that we can go out there and expand in the right places and not in the wrong places. Now, it would also make sure that we're exploring a number of different solutions to solve the problem of ocean plastics, including natural infrastructure, green infrastructure, mechanical removal, filtration, and more. Now, this has been something that I've been speaking to a number of different groups quite a bit about lately, speaking with the United States Coast Guard, what their role could be, what the role for the Coast Guard Auxiliary could be in going out there and potentially cleaning up, working to clean up some of these ocean plastics that are massive islands out in places like the Pacific. Speaking to groups like Ocean Conservancy numerous times about what can be done and what is the right role for us to play in that. Now, I'm hopeful that this legislation is going to be a great start in our Washington, D.C. fight to both remove plastics from our waterways and prevent them from getting there in the first place. The old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. These are things that we need to prevent up front. Many of you know I say it all the time. My policy on water, I call it the tub test, is very simply this: if I wouldn't put something in the bathtub with one of my children, one of my 4 kids, then I'm going to fight to keep it out of our waterways, and that includes these plastics that we see going into the ocean. Now, finally, I wanted to quickly mention another bill that I reintroduced this week. Reintroduced, that's because we had it, something that we were working on in the last Congress, and that was called the Oath of Exit. Now, this was a piece of legislation that I'd been working on to help reduce veteran suicide. It was passed through the House of Representatives, but it was taken out of something known as the National Defense Authorization Act by the Senate, specifically Senator McCain's office. I spoke with them specifically on it, and they decided to pull this piece of legislation out of the National Defense Authorization Act. And what it would do, very specifically, is it created a separation oath for members of the armed forces in an effort to reduce veteran suicide. Now, when we go into the military, we take an oath. We take an oath of entry into the military every time that we go and we re-up our time in the military. We raise our right hand and we continue that oath again. And I think it's equally important that we have an oath when we exit the military as well. You know, throughout our lives, the most important commitments I like to think that we make, they're spoken. We go out there and we put them into word and also put them into action, whether it's an oath upon joining the military or vows at our wedding or saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Integrity, it's something it's more than just a word to my brothers and my sisters in arms, those that put on a uniform in defense of this country. So I'm a firm believer that if we say we will do something as members of the military or veterans, then we will do it. That's part of our oath, our ethos as veterans, the things that we care about. about. Loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. When we say we'll do something, we'll do it. That's why we go out there and we say things over and over, like the Ranger Creed and the SF Creed and the Soldier's Creed, and we put those things into word. So it's something that I've been fighting for, is for us as we exit the military to go out there and put into word what is it that is our commitment as we now leave the military, to be a keeper of our brother and sisters in arms, to continue to look out for those individuals, to maintain ourselves and our own bodies, and make sure that we don't bring harm to ourselves. And so this is something that I'm going to continue to work on. As I said, we got it through the House of Representatives last Congress. We're going to work to get it through again this Congress, but also get it through the Senate. And hopefully try to work in every single lane that we can find to help reduce suicides that are going on with our veterans. Now, it's on that note that I want to say, as I always say, I hope that you all have a great weekend. It is always an honor to serve you here as your member of Congress in Washington, and I always look forward to seeing you all around town. Y'all take care.